Hello, I'm Elizabeth Hartstar with Linda Kubota Bird, and together we're the Astrology Star Sisters. And we were talking today about the equinox since it will be on Tuesday, the 22nd at 6:31 a.m. That's Pacific USA time. And talking about balance and Linda being a Stargate facilitator, I asked if she would bring in the Stargate, and we've been daily with the Stargate experience. Is it .org or is it?
It's .com. It's called.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we'll put it on the bottom, the StargateExperience.com. It's been so powerful to work with thousands of people to raise the level of consciousness during this time. So I asked Linda if she would open with a Stargate to help us balance equinox time. And it is the Jewish Hebrew New Year, the Hebrew New Year of 5781. And we were also talking about how ancestral lineages are being healed or have the opportunity for healing at this time. So Linda will talk about that more too. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, very good. I'm just going to quickly put in my earbuds so that we don't have outside noise.
And behind Linda, there's the Stargate. Can you show people the,
There's the
yeah.
Stargate. And what it is, it's a sacred geometric structure that was channeled in 31 years ago. And it serves as a portal to other dimensions. So what we're going to do is just very quickly, just use the Stargate to move into the quantum field. And so that there, if you're watching this, and it doesn't matter when you're watching this, you have the potential of feeling the energy of what's going on and kind of why we do this to prepare us for the upcoming changes. So, okay, so if you'd like to, you can just close your eyes. And we'll just quickly call in the energy from Mother Earth just to get grounded. So you can ask inside. We call for the energies from Mother Earth. And then you can call for an etheric Stargate or an imaginary Stargate. And if you don't know what its shape is, you just could imagine yourself sitting in the middle of a pyramid or lying in the middle of a pyramid. And the intention will form the Stargate. And so we'll do this very quickly. So we'll call for the activation of the Stargates, both etheric and physical, around the world. And from here, we'll quickly move to the 7th dimension. So if you could ask inside, we call for the presence of a strong 7th dimensional energy field. And now we'll quickly move up to the 12th dimension. And the 12th dimension is where the quantum field is. And so we'll call for a strong 12th dimensional energy field. And if you're sensitive, as you call in this energy field, you can feel the dimensions. And from here, we'll also call in the angelic realm, the ascended masters, and the star beings, and all other helpers from the unseen realm. And so it is. Very rapid.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It always feels so good and balancing.
Yeah. So Elizabeth just mentioned that the Stargate, or the equinox up here in the northern hemisphere, we call it autumn equinox, And for those of you in the southern hemisphere, it's obvious it's a spring equinox. So we just call it the Libra equinox to be fair, to be balanced, because Libra is all about balance. So I'm doing a live stream with the Stargate people, or Stargate Julianne Kennard, one of the Stargate facilitators, on Tuesday, on the actual day, at 11 o'clock Pacific time. So if you'd like to tune into that, we'll be just talking about the message that came through from Alcazar, the being that channels through the Stargate, that it was going to be something about balance and resilience, heart-centered resilience. And meditations coming through, or we've been promised a meditation that could be used over and over as we go through this final part of 2020. So, yeah.
And we'll put that link for the Stargate experience on September 22nd, so that people can tune in and listen to you and Julianne.
And the meditations, as I think Elizabeth might have mentioned, I don't remember if we talked about this before, but we've been meeting every morning, the Stargate community, and doing energy work from around the world. And it's just to experience the connection of people joining together with the same intent is very powerful. And I personally believe that our working together with the energies will help to alleviate perhaps some of the harder things that potentially lies ahead.
Yeah, so. It feels like it. And today we worked with the oceans of the water and the river people. It was really, I felt a lot of dolphin energy. Very happy to assist and help to bring in the balance during this challenging time.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's very hopeful. You know, as we get the dark messages that keep coming through, and it's not that we're saying that isn't real. In our 3D reality, it is real, but that to give us tools or methods so we can dissipate some of that is very empowering.
Yeah.
And hopeful. Yeah. So.
You had mentioned something about the astrologer that was talking about.
Yes. There's a wonderful astrologer in Port Townsend. Her name's Stephanie Austin, and she puts out a newsletter. And she brought out the fact that on before and after equinoxes, then she calls it fissures forming in the Earth magnetosphere. Yes, magnetosphere, which is called the Russell-McPherson effect. And so what these are, they're temporary openings in the Earth's magnetic field, allowing greater influx of cosmic rays affecting our DNA, nervous system, and consciousness. So in addition, the equinox squares the June 20th eclipse, solar eclipse. So what this is doing is it's giving us extended opportunity to release old programming, especially around family, but old programming, and then it's an excellent time to set new intentions.
Yeah, and ray particles is what drive evolution. That's why we are part stardust, because when these ray particles happen, I never heard about that effect, but it makes sense that 0 degree, right, that cardinal points activate this. So that's great opportunity for us.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And for many people, I think you can feel that this is the time we came for.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's to do this energy work. From conscious place. So we were looking at this equinox chart, and it's very interesting because so many of the asteroids are paired with the planets. And so Elizabeth is an expert on the asteroids. Well, she's been using them for a long time. So I consider her an expert. So
well, I feel like kind of Dimitri George's asteroid goddess book kind of like put the asteroids, and I got very excited about the asteroids. And then when I made my astrology deck, I wanted to put the 4 asteroids in, and I kind of tuned into them and realized for me that they represented the feminine expressions of the elements of fire, Vesta, who's exactly the same Venus, Leo, this
Mm-hmm.
equinox chart. And
Mm-hmm.
she's the fire goddess, so she likes being in Leo. She can really, with Venus, is she wants to express the heart of the lion. That's what Leo is. It's the sign of the sun. So Vesta, who I see as the fire goddess, who is dedicated and devoted to being a pure channel for spirit. She's like the keeper of the flame, the priestess energy. And she is exactly, with Venus. And then what was so incredible when we looked at this horoscope together is that Juno, who is the divine feminine, I call her the goddess of water because she's the divine feminine in the sacred marriage. So she's the queen, the bride who knows her worth, or the empowered. She's kind of like the Wonder Woman, I think. Maybe she knows who she is, and so she's all about equality and right relationships.
Mm-hmm.
She just left Libra, and she's at the 0 of Scorpio. So that there's a lot of power in Scorpio being ruled by Pluto. And then Ceres, who's the Earth Mother, the goddess of Earth, um, is at 0 Pisces. So that's a beautiful exact trine at the 0 degrees. While the equinox, the sun is at 0.
Yeah, and it's zeros. They're both at 0040 minutes. They're
Oh,
exact to the minute.
oh my goodness, that's wow! I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ceres is retrograded back to the 0. Wow, that's incredible. So here the
Mm-hmm.
water goddess and the earth mother they're really strong together, starting something new. I think they're working really well. And then the other asteroid, which is Pallas Athene, is at 13 degrees Capricorn. So she's still in aspect to Jupiter. She's been with the big Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto all this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I think the beginning of the year. And so
Well,
she
I don't, Sirius was with them at the beginning of the year.
oh, it
And
was
then Palace came on, I
okay.
can't remember, around spring maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'd have to look. But
Mm-hmm.
right now she's in Capricorn 13, which is actually aligned to the star Vega in the constellation of Lyra, the harp, that brings in and works with Sirius, the blue-white dog star. She's the messenger of light, they call her. In the constellation of Lyra, the harp, she brings in the new sound, the new vibrations. So that star, and Pallas Athene, who is the goddess of air, who is going to be heard and seen and is unafraid to speak out. She gives voice. She's the wise woman. She's like protected. She's armored. The owl's her totem. She sees everything. Everyone listens to Pallas. And so here she is on this strong messenger of light with Jupiter still,
Mm-hmm.
helping her. Jupiter is, now direct, because Jupiter was retrograde, since May, and just on the 13th of September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 12th, I think. Yeah.
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 So Pallas, so the asteroid goddesses are very powerful on this equinox.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Mercury is aligned to Arcturus. Is like Mercury, the messenger, is aligning to the star Arcturus. And as many people are aware of, that the Arcturians are very close at hand as other galactics to support us during this challenging time, with Mars retrograding, squaring all those Capricorn planets,
Mm-hmm.
which is bringing up a lot of fire, literally and within people. It's the
Mm-hmm.
blood in the body, and
Mm-hmm.
Mars's sister Eris. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a potent time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
These don't happen accidentally. I mean, when you see planets that are aspected so tightly, then you just have to pay attention, you
Yeah.
know. But to see them exactly to the minute,
Yeah.
you know, that's pretty rare.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Neptune Jupiter sextile.
Yeah, the Neptune Jupiter sextile has been going back and forth all year, pretty much. And Elizabeth and I, we're we're partial to Neptune's higher octave, and just to balance it, the lower octave can be confusion, chaos, illusion, delusion, all those kinds of things, which we can see actually going on in our reality. But the Neptune also is bringing in the spiritual aspect, and I always think of it as partnering in this case with Jupiter, or that they're conversing to say, how can we help humanity
Yes.
from a different perspective. And so, and
Yeah.
this is where I think the Stargate work and the other kinds of work, there's all kinds of people doing energy healing and global meditations and things in different ways. And I think this is this Jupiter Neptune influence. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very powerful.
And where nodes are, the north node, in tropical Western astrology is what words are expressing or learning collectively.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Gemini, which is why all this information is coming in from all sources. And Neptune is squaring still the nodes
Mm-hmm.
by only a few degrees,
Mm-hmm.
which is what you were talking about, like all this misinformation and what is true to you and what feels right, and really listening to that, because there's
Mm-hmm.
so much. You can find anything you want, as everyone knows. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such an important time to co-create this new earth or new age.
Mm-hmm.
um, but where the North Node is aligned in Gemini, it's 23 degrees at the equinox, and it's aligned to two stars that have to do with the feminine being strong guides. So the one star is Capella, beautiful star in the constellation of Auriga, the goat. And she's like the main star that guides the kids, the baby goats, that are called
Mm-hmm.
kids. And then also in Orion, Bellatrix, which is the female warrioress, which is the fainter star on the right. Most people know Orion because it's so big in the sky. Um, Bellatrix, and she's known as really kind of the Amazon queen. She's kind of like a Wonder Woman type. She's the entrepreneur. They called her the Amazon queen, the feminine warrioress that's gonna create how the feminine is so key during this time within men and women to connect with our masculine feminine side, I think, during this equinox. And so the
Mm-hmm.
North Node, our collective theme is the women way showers, the mother guide. It's like, let's listen to the mothers always care about the children. So let's think about the children. I think that if we focus on that, um, we'll create a healthy world, because that's what mothers want, their children to be healthy and happy and fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in California, it happens to be on the MC or the midheaven. So this is
Oh, the
just
North Node is?
the North Node is on the midheaven. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, within 3 minutes. So this is with the Koch house system, but
Yeah.
that's also, I think, significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, Uranus exactly in conjunct where the moon is on the equinox, and the moon is at 10 degrees almost 11 degrees of Sagittarius, which is aligned to the royal gatekeeper star Antares, which is all about truth. You know, the gatekeeper of truth. I always see this star, which is actually the rising star of the United States, too, as Archangel Michael holding the sword of truth, like liberty, justice, truth. You know, that the moon is exactly what it's in conjunct, right? It's
In conjunct, yeah.
in conjunct Uranus and Taurus. Do you want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about that?
Um, well, any kind of inconjunct is considered a challenging aspect because there's nothing in common. They're different elements and different modalities. So the moon is our emotional security, what we really need to feel secure and safe. And so it's in Sagittarius. So moon in Sagittarius is playful, optimistic, and so forth. And then on the other side of the inconjunct is Uranus in Taurus in an earth sign. So the two things together, you've got fire and earth,
Yeah.
trying to negotiate. I always consider this as a negotiation time between
Yeah.
your emotional needs and
A tug of war almost, but you can't even see what the other person's point of view is. And in conjunct,
right.
you're blinded.
Mm-hmm,
And so like you have to adjust and realign so
mm-hmm,
the energies flow. And
mm-hmm,
especially that the moon will be on the ascendant of the United States 1776 July 4th chart. I think
mm-hmm,
is very significant with
mm-hmm.
what's going on in the
Yeah.
United States and everywhere. I mean,
Mm-hmm. That's
it's
just a Sibley chart, right?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the one with
I think
Sagittarius
so.
rising.
Sagittarius.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's many different iterations of the US chart, but that seems to be the most popular.
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's when 9/11 happened and it was on the United States. Pluto was
Mm-hmm.
on the rising sign. So that's
Yeah.
usually when a major planet or a global generational planet hits the rising sign
Mm-hmm.
uh, or ascendant is when you get okay is you know something's going to happen or it's not happening, and that was, as everyone knows, 9/11 changed everything.
Mm-hmm. As has this pandemic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
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 yeah,
yeah. And this, I mean, we probably beat this point so much and everybody hears it, but the whole Saturn Pluto conjunction is all about change, but it's change for the better. It's an evolutionary change.
yes,
So it's important to look back and grieve the things that will not be coming back.
right,
Also to look ahead to the future, that it's evolution. It's not, it's, this isn't happening as punishment. It's happening for our betterment. So
like forcing change, like, and Mars retrograde with his very angry sister Eris squaring Saturn for the last time
mm-hmm.
is bringing all this that needs to change. Radical evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And with Mars and Eris together, and Mars in its native sign of her natural sign of Aries, who's not real happy right now because he's retrograde. So, and with Eris, the planet of disruption, but again, for the higher good.
yes,
So it's kind of like trying to hold on to the ultimate destiny where we're going
yeah,
and not get caught in or feed the morphic field around fear and, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, which
yeah,
is would be relatively easy to go to,
yes,
given what we're going through right now. Yeah.
yeah. That Mars and Eris will be in square to from Saturn to Pluto and Jupiter until January.
Mm-hmm.
It's a volatile time
Mm-hmm.
and a time that we need to like I think really be mindful. I think what Mercury aligned to Arcturus right now is opposite Mars, almost exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite Mars retrograding. And I think the Arcturians are coming in, and it's in Libra. Arcturus is even in Vedic or sidereal. It's right at the beginning of Libra. And in tropical Western astrology, Arcturus is around, I always give it between 20 and 26 degrees of Libra
Mm.
in aspect, but it's pretty close at 24 degrees Libra, Mercury opposite Mars at 25, only 1 degree apart. And so they're
Mm-hmm.
having this tug of war. No,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go, Mars wants to fight and wants to get angry and wants to see blood. I mean, it is blood in the body. And, I think the Arcturians are coming in. Let's evolve from the 3D old duality into a unity consciousness
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
create and go into that positive Neptune in Pisces to see the higher realms and
Mm-hmm.
connect with the music of the spheres and create beauty
Mm-hmm.
instead of destruction.
Right. And I think that even though the conjunction is wide, it would be considered wide mathematically between
Yeah.
Juno and Mercury. It feels like
Oh, right.
the
No,
Juno right relationship, communication, Mercury in
no,
Libra being
June, Juno,
fair.
Juno though is zero Scorpio. June.
Right.
Oh, is that what you were saying? Oh,
Yeah, well, it's still
oh,
only 4 degrees, I mean, 6 degrees
oh,
apart.
oh, sorry. I understand. Juno is also opposite the Mars Eris.
Right.
That's what
Right.
you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that these asteroids are in pair to these
Yeah.
planets, and
Yeah.
so even though it's wide, it's just
Yeah.
Mark Jones once said that when things just feel like they're together, he said that you don't have to be a
Yeah.
stickler for the exact degrees, and they feel like they're together. To me, that
Yeah.
is like bringing in the right relationship, bringing in the feeling realm, not
Right.
just thinking from your head,
Right.
but bringing in that Scorpio depth to the
Yeah.
communication.
I know. I gave when I looked at this horoscope, I was like, oh, we have a grand fire trine, but it is very wide.
Mm-hmm.
With the moon at 10 Sag and Venus and Vesta at 18. That's a trine, but it's 8 degrees. I give the moon up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the moon is trine to Chiron in Aries, which is 7 degrees. So that's only 3. And so I think that this healing these deep wounds, these deep
Mm-hmm.
kind of Mars, Aries, ego, I'm right, follow me, this is the way, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I think that we're, this equinox time, we're being given the opportunity to heal some ego need, um, we're healing ego, right? With Aries
Mm-hmm.
and Mars. Like that we
Yeah.
have to be right. Like, Aries, follow me, I'm the ram. And
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah,
Yeah, it's all about bringing in balance, I think. And in
yes,
some ways, it feels like the patriarchy, this is the last gasp of the patriarchy, the Mars
yeah,
and Aries, the need to hold on. And in some ways, at the very primal level,
yes,
but it's the patriarchy is, we all can sense this, the patriarchy is finishing off. We're moving into a new reality where will be more balanced with the feminine and the masculine,
yeah.
not women and men, but feminine and masculine with each of us. So it's how do we complete this time in the most graceful, conscious way?
Balance, because we
Mm-hmm.
all want good things for
Mm-hmm.
everyone. I think
Mm-hmm.
everyone's nature is that.
Right.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's true. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, um, I see that this is the last of Sedna, who I have used in horoscopes and in my deck as the emergence of the divine feminine, being the goddess of the sea, into being recognized and heard and seen as the giver of life, um, that gave birth to all of the sea life. And isn't there more ocean than there are land mass on our planet? And she is in Taurus at 28 degrees. So she's Sedna is trining Saturn before, and will be, because she moves so slowly, which is a good thing. She'll be trining Saturn for some time. I mean, even when at the beginning of the year, when Saturn and Jupiter are at 0 and 1 degree of Aquarius, which is the grand conjunction, I think we're all we're hoping that in 4 months, which is when the solstice is, when Jupiter and Saturn come together in the grand conjunction, however long it takes, when Saturn and Jupiter come together, do with the running of our societies, right? Saturn building the structures that support governments and nations, and Jupiter, the higher wisdom, that wants to share the good fortune. So it's always an advancement happen. Is one of the positives.
And it is starting a 200-year period or cycle into the air elements, because we've been in Earth for 200 years. So there'll be a shift in the energy field on the winter solstice. As to how apparent it is yet to be seen. But the other thing I'm noticing, that Sedna forms a grand trine with the equinox's ascendant. So Saturn, Sedna, the ascendant will form a grand trine.
What ascendant do you have?
I just have Virgo.
I didn't see. I have the equinoxes right on it in Sedona. It's 2 degrees Libra. I mean, but I use placid. We in the West Coast.
Yeah.
In the West Coast, there's a grand trine in USA, right, with Sedna, Saturn, and the ascendant. So it's a good start. Good start of
grounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about the thing that everybody's talking about, is I'm choosing to call them the Capricorn Council.
Right.
Yeah, but that in the West Coast chart is in the 4th house, the lower part of the house. So it's kind of like do your work, do your internal work. I think this whole year has been about that. Let go of any of the lower frequency vibrations, the shame, blame, guilt kind of thing. So, and every chart's going to be different depending on where you're located. I just partial to California, since that's where I live. So that's my perspective. Yeah.
Let's bring some water that's going to help heal. Like, I think it's like there's floods and storms in the U.S. and Louisiana and Alabama, and then there's these extreme fires. It's time to balance water, fire, masculine, feminine, the equinox. So
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
So thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Linda. Hey.
Good info.
Blessings on the equinox.
Yes. Blessings, everybody.